Hi, welcome to Brunch with Brian, your home investing live stream. And what a, it could failure be a good thing? It's National Day of Failure. And so, how many times have you failed in your life? And how many times do you fail? I mean, if you think about it that way, on seller calls, remember, I mean, if your conversion ratio is 1 out of 20, that's not bad. That's actually, depending on where you're getting the leads, that might actually be a decent conversion ratio. If all your leads are coming from outbound calls, that would be, that wouldn't be a bad conversion ratio. Now, if you're getting really warm leads from referral sources or social media, people contacting you, I hope you're getting more closer to maybe 1 out of 10, but that still means that 9 times out of 10, you're not getting that deal. So, are you failing at that? Or, and this is how I want you to think about failure, it's part of a learning curve. So when you think about, well, when have I failed in the past? Well, you know what? I left college and went into business with somebody. I mean, we didn't get rich doing that. And I ended up going back to college. So there's a couple of ways you can think about that. You can think that was an early entrepreneurial experience that, was part of my learning curve that led to my eventual success. And that's the way to think about it. And when you think about, things that maybe you think, well, maybe I failed at that. But each part of these, every one of these little failures is part of your learning experience. So what do you learn though? I mean, if it's not, it's your learning curve, but it's not part of your learning curve unless you learn, unless you take the time to realize, okay, what did I learn from that? What's the lesson that I can take from that? And so, for instance, every call you do that you do not get a deal on, I mean, I don't want you to sit there and waste your time analyzing bad leads. But if there's a reason that you didn't get that deal and that was potentially a good deal, then you need to examine what happened there. Now, if you're not getting enough leads or enough warm leads, you need to examine, why that's happening. So everything that you feel like you're maybe failing at and feeling like, oh no, I failed at that, is really just part of your learning curve, so long as you can learn from it, okay, and eventually fine tune your business in all the ways that you feel like you're failing until it's very successful. Now, remember, you can fail a lot in real estate investing and still make a lot of money. If you do, I mean, to reduce it to the ridiculous, if you do, 5 deals a year, or even, I mean, even a couple. I mean, your whole retirement, everything would be different about your life. Okay, so I honestly, if you really reduced it to that, so that's a lot of failing if you're actually out there trying and not getting a lot of success. Now, we really want your minimum goal to be 1 deal a month. And so, but how many people do you have to talk to? What it is really is you presenting your offer, and it's a matchmaking process. And sometimes it works for some people and sometimes it doesn't. And then the ones that it does, you still have to get those. And so those are the ones that let's look at why you fail. So I can tell you a big reason why you fail to get deals that are potentially good deals is because you haven't practiced enough. You're not smooth enough yet with the scripts. So that's so easily remediable. You can remedy that very easily by just role playing the scripts and practicing the scripts more, and also getting more leads, doing more marketing, getting out on social media more. So those are good. Having more leads always cures everything. I mean, and it also gives you more experience because you're talking to a lot of people and you're getting in the swing of it. So when you're in the swing of it and when you're talking to a lot of people and you're using those scripts, remember, your learning curve will be a lot longer if you don't use the scripts. The scripts make your process uniform, and then you can see where you maybe messed up. Maybe I'm not building enough rapport in the beginning. That's a big mistake. Maybe you're building too much rapport because you're nervous about getting into the negotiating part. Just stick to the scripts. The script will lead you through everything, and really it's that simple in the creative financing world, is having the absolute best scripts, which you have in the What to Say system, All of Ron LeGrand's scripts and all of the Wolf Couple scripts are in there. And really the most important part is the closing, the seller financing closing call script. It's about it's a little under 3 pages long. And I mean, that's the essence of the business. Combine that with the FSBO opening call script. And, you know, that's a lot of the scripting that you need for this business. There's tons of objections and there's all that other stuff. And there's many different kinds of deals, option deals, short sale or pre-foreclosure deals, work for equity deals. So there's a lot of different kinds of deals that you have to understand in order to close them. And you need the scripts for those too. But the pretty house business really boils down to, you know, a few pages of really understanding and practicing. So really, if you practice for a half hour, and remember, you got the role play videos, then you will decrease your chances of failure. Okay, so what you always want to do is shorten your learning curve by learning really well and learning the best way possible, which is role playing for the pretty house business, for the creative financing business, and just get as good as you can and then convert at the highest level possible. And failure is not an option. That's what I want to say. Write that one down. Write it down and put it somewhere, because we've seen students that took years to get their first deal and hung around and came to the seminars and you know, kept showing up, and finally they just kept plugging away and things started to happen. But honestly, even if you ever did one deal in your life, you know, we just did a deal recently that we bought about 20 years ago and just played out the string of the lease purchase buyers and ended up making, I mean, the final paycheck on that deal was $405,000. That's just one house. So what if you just bought one house and you had and you held it for a long time and had really good, you know, good appreciation or whatever over time, and you're going to pay down that principal. That's the big thing. That's where a huge amount of that profit came from, was just that principal reduction. So even if you just bought one other house in your whole life and used it as a you know, a rental or like a lease purchase like we love, that can change your whole financial picture. So again, just get out there and keep taking action. Don't be afraid of failure. You're going to fail. You're going to fail 19 times out of 20. And so just accept that and don't take it too seriously. Acknowledge that it's part of your learning curve and just try to learn. If you feel like, oh, I messed that up because they said this specific objection and I didn't address that strongly enough. They said, well, I don't want to leave the mortgage in my name. Oh, well, when are you going to pay me off? And you didn't answer it well enough, how the timing on it. Go back to the scripts, practice the scripts more. That's really the answer, is to being smooth and good at this, is just practicing. And then, you know, doing enough calls where you're just getting relaxed and knowing what you're doing. And then having enough leads is always great too. Okay, I went over a lot of stuff on failure, but remember, failure is not an option. Just keep in the game, you know, just stay in the game, make it a sustainable thing where you're doing the right things every month. You know, you're making some phone calls, sending out some marketing, you know, doing what you need to, but at least 20, you're talking to at least 20 sellers every month. That's your 20 plan. Talking to at least 20 sellers a month and getting one deal out of that. Okay, so awesome, guys. What's our affirmation for today? I'm turning failure into success. Okay, let's do that. 1, 2, 3. I'm turning failure into success. One more time. I'm turning failure into success. Yes, and every time, I mean, guys, I failed a ton in my life over the years at different things. And but you know, everything, so long as you learn, it's part of your learning curve. Okay, let's do our deep breathing. Deep breath in. Big smile. You know how that brightens your mood. And don't forget to just smile during the day whenever you think about it. Deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it out. Okay, one more deep breath in. Okay, loosen up your arms, your neck. How can you not feel great? Good morning here on Brunch with Brian. And start your day off continue your day the right way, and use the law of attraction to stay positive and get great tips about doing the real estate business. So great to see you. Until next time, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking action.